After the conclusion of the UFC's first week with Paramount, many of the questions that had long gone unanswered were finally addressed, and several of our previous suspicions were confirmed. For example, Gaethje, at 37 years old, is still capable of absorbing punishment. Gaethje was on antibiotics just as we told you. Paddy is not championship level. Scousers do not get knocked out.
He says he's a sorcerer, they don't get knocked out.
Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje is now most likely the main event at the White House. And I believe that after that fight, Trump will shift his focus from Greenland to Georgia and many other issues we finally received answers to. At the same time, however, we were left with new questions that only added to the confusion after that event, such as, would the result of the fight have been different if Paddy had chosen to follow a different game plan instead of standing and trading with Justin Gaethje? What happened to the man who bet $1.3 million on Paddy? Did O'Malley and Omar do enough to knock Mirab off the top of the title contender list? Is increasing bonuses by $31 million justified when broadcast revenue has risen by $500 million annually? Did Arman, a married man with 2 daughters, cross red lines during his media tour? But the most important question remains, will what happened on Sunday morning open the door for Kamaru Usman to become the next challenger for Islam Makhachev's title?
I like Islam. I think he's a great champion, but I also feel that I am the best test in the division for him, and it's almost kind of weird and surreal that I'm having to sell myself on my skill level, on who I am and what I've done in the sport. So it's a little weird, but that's the name of the game right now. It's what have you done for me lately? So, hopefully the UFC sees that and gives me that opportunity for me to go out there and show them once again that I am still the best in the world.
After Paddy's continued rise in the 70 kg rankings over the past year without fighting anyone, and with him being considered the #1 contender despite the weakness of his fight resume, it became clear that he was receiving preferential treatment with the UFC. And why wouldn't he, given that he is a commercially appealing, marketable figure? On Sunday morning, it was obvious that this was not the result Dana had been hoping for, judging by his facial expression as he wrapped the belt around Justin Gaethje's waist. But that disappointment was not his greatest concern. On the contrary, he now has a main event that somewhat aligns with the narrative of a White House fight, especially with McGregor's stubbornness in negotiations. At the post-fight press conference, Dana appeared generally satisfied with how the event unfolded, particularly because the numbers on the Paramount platform exceeded expectations by a wide margin, according to his own statements.
This exceeded expectations beyond belief for Paramount. So we know it killed it. We just don't know the exact number yet. They're saying it exceeded by like double.
Honestly, I thought Dana was hallucinating as usual with his imaginary figures.
We have more followers than every single professional sport.
Until the official numbers were released a few days ago. That press conference was packed with noteworthy topics, so let's go through the most important ones. And by the way, if you enjoyed the breakdown, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe. The goal is to hit 500 subs real soon, and your support genuinely helps. Much thanks. Amid the ongoing debate surrounding fighter pay and bonuses, Dana claimed that fighters had previously been receiving secret bonuses ranging from $5K to $25K, which have now been converted into fixed bonus for finishing a fight.
So what has been happening forever in this company since we started this company is every night I would tell you guys, oh, these guys won these bonuses, but everybody on the card would get a check for different dollar amounts depending on how they fought, ranging anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 every event. So those are going away, and now, finishes will get a $25,000 bonus.
Several fighters came forward to confirm that Dana had indeed handed out behind-the-scenes bonuses, but according to them, those bonuses were closer to $3,000, not starting at $5K as he claimed. Returning to fighter pay, it appears that, alongside the new bonuses, fighters also received any pay rises, unless, of course, your manager failed to check their mail.
My manager answered the call. I will take the pay rise, my brother.
Hell yeah, that's a good manager.
Paid, my boy.
Good for you.
I'm getting paid.
He then explained the reason for pulling the Johnson versus Hernandez fight just hours before the event.
Happened again. We got called from the Gaming Integrity Service and said, I'm not doing this again. So we pulled the fight.
He also expressed some doubts about Paddy's game plan.
I don't think that his game plan was the greatest.
Dana responded to fan complaints about Paramount's advertisement that aired during fighters' walkouts and between rounds, even for Premier subs, and honestly, I agree with him here. Paramount needs to recoup the money it spent on broadcast rights.
It's $8.99. You're not paying, however much anymore. These guys gotta make some money too. So
even if they ran 1,000 ads during every event, they still wouldn't recover what they paid. So those ads are fine with me as long as the ICE advertisement isn't one of them. Personally, I believe what Connor said. While playing Roblox with his son,
so the company has 4x its profit, and my contract essentially is void right now because there's no more pay-per-view, whereas my contract was based on pay-per-view sales.
Unofficially removed him from the White House event, despite his readiness for it, but time will tell how Dana reacts to that.
He said he was going to enter into renegotiations with you guys because of his contract situation.
I have not, no.
Dana was irritated by a reporter's question regarding baseless rumors.
One of the big things that's been thrown out, multiple titles for the White House. Fans are wondering, well, how are they going to spread out, across the schedule over the summer?
Did you hear me say, did I say that?
That's the rumor that's out there. Is that
from who? Who's the rumor? Where'd you see that?
A lot of people on the internet.
Okay, sounds legit.
A lot of fans...
I literally have not said one thing about the White House, and that we're not even talking about it, thinking about it, or anything until Monday.
Unaware that these rumors actually originated from the US President Donald Trump.
And they're going to have 8 or 9 championship fights, the biggest fights they've ever had. Everyone's a championship fight.
What bothered me even more was the silence of the puppet-like reporters and their mockery of that journalist, despite knowing the source of those rumors. I wish I could have been in that room to challenge Dana with questions, though realistically I wouldn't have lasted more than a few seconds. Finally, someone asked him about Tom Aspinall, and unfortunately, Dana's answer revealed his true feelings toward him.
Oh Jesus, don't let me talk about Tom Aspinall's eye. Apparently he's going in for a second surgery, or just had it, and by surgery I mean injections. I have no idea. Get a quote from him. God fucking forbid I say something about it. Go ahead.
Tom later posted his reaction, which only served to further escalate tensions between him and the UFC.
Catching strays, aren't I? Catching strays in my own living room on a Sunday morning. Right.
Frankly, UFC 324 once again highlighted how serious these violations truly are, with Gaethje benefiting from some of them without Mark taking any disciplinary action, while Rose Namajunas entered surgery just the night before for an operation on her eye. Then, after everything Dana did to Arman, he ironically agreed that Arman had been treated unfairly.
Lots of fans online said that Arman was snubbed from this interim belt fight, and I just want to know if you've had...
They're all right.
While subtly hinting at the possibility of his return to competition soon.
And you mentioned that you made all the cards up until the White House. Will Arman be on one of those cards?
Off the top of my head, I don't know if he's on one of them. Probably.
In the end, Dana had nothing to say regarding Gaethje's comments earlier that week at the press conference.
I don't talk about guys' money. If he wants to talk about it, he can. I'm not.
Before the fight, Paddy, with all due respect, was fantasizing about going to war for 5 rounds with the legendary fighter Justin Gaethje.
In all my years of fighting, including my amateur fights, 35 fights, I've never really had a war, so it'd be nice to finally get one with the king of them, but I don't think it'll get that far. I think I'll finish him.
But in reality, he believed with every fibre of his being that he would completely dismantle Justin.
He won't be physically the same after this fight. I will. I'll be exactly the same.
And the devil tempted him with a belief through a dream disguised as a vision.
I keep having visions and knocking him out on the feet. To be honest, I keep having mad crazy visions and knocking him out on the feet.
And for that very reason, after everything was over, Justin could not resist gloating in Paddy's face.
I remember him specifically, very specifically saying that my face was not going to look the same and his face was going to look the exact same. Right when the fight was done, I was like, look at your fucking face. I was like, how does my face look? Looks the same, huh? And your face does not look the same.
When he arrived at the post-fight press conference after capturing his second interim belt, and by the way, we currently have 3 belts orbiting the lightweight division, and following Dana's comments about his health just minutes earlier,
apparently he's 100%.
Justin made a statement that contradicted Dana's narrative.
I definitely need some time off. He rocked my brain a couple times.
He then gave his opinion on a title unification bout with Ilya.
Can't wait. It's what I got here for.
Calling for Ilya to be stripped of the belt if he wasn't ready to return in June, the date of the White House event.
If he's not back by then, they will strip him and I will be undisputed and then I'll fight for the belt.
After walking back his comments about fighter pay at the pre-fight press conference, and after Ali revealed his indifference toward the issue, Justin appeared as if he had fully sold himself to the establishment. He even expressed satisfaction from his manager, who hadn't bothered to inform him about a raise in his pay.
I'm very happy right now. I get to fight for the belt. Next fight, I get to get paid as a champion. And, hopefully I have a good manager and he'll renegotiate my contract.
A few days later, Ali doubled down on Dana's statements on the Pat McAfee show.
And Gaethje, without getting into all that stuff, Gaethje was offered more money, and Gaethje never responded,
making the situation look even worse.
Listen, I have rules. I don't talk about financial business. Dana was right. It was an offer we made. It was made. But, sometimes, for a little bit more money, Dana was not lying. But in reality, Justin, maybe he was not okay with the offer,
But regardless of all that, I was genuinely happy to see the old guard still standing strong against the new generation, especially after Paddy's earlier comments about Dustin earlier that week.
Yeah, I think we're 3-1 right now. I freaking ran through the house when Dustin Poirier beat BSD. I beat Fiziev, and I just beat Paddy. And Topuria took out Holloway. So I think we're 3-1 right now. I'm very proud of that.
And please, keep an eye on the 15th ranked Fares Ziam.
I had Fares Ziam working with me this whole camp, and he was with me for 6 weeks. The whole camp, 7 weeks, 7 weeks. Won't take my money, paid for everything himself. What an amazing dude. And he'll be there soon.
When the press conference ended, I was surprised that none of the reporters asked Justin whether he was suffering from a staph infection or not. And was I the only one who noticed that? Compared to his previous fights, he looked extremely bloated. When bloating is one of the most common side effects for those taking antibiotics. After I had written these lines, Ali appeared in an interview with Mike Bond, where he confirmed that Justin had indeed been taking antibiotics, but insisted that what was on his neck was nothing more than an ingrown hair.
No, he was fine. He had an ingrown hair. He took some
actually an ingrown hair.
He took some antibiotic. Obviously, antibiotic is not good to take before the fight, but he was fine.
For those who don't know any better, Ali's explanation might sound acceptable, but the truth is that it started as an ingrown hair under the skin, and then due to the bacteria commonly found on wrestling mats and Justin's lack of care in keeping them clean, it developed into a staph infection, which makes his victory over Paddy even more impressive. At the end of UFC 324, the director chose, after showing a scene of Gaethje celebrating with his family, to close the broadcast with a shot of Arman Tsarukyan standing there, appearing to reflect on the decisions he has made in his life recently. Incidentally, Arman was among the small minority who predicted Justin Gaethje would win by decision, not because he possesses some exceptional analytical insights into fights, but because that outcome aligned with his own wishes. He believes that if Paddy had won, the UFC would have kept him as far away from Arman as possible.
And I believe Justin Gaethje gonna beat him by KO or by decision, sorry.
In the end, he got what he wanted, and his immediate reaction was that tweet he had to gloat over his bitter rival Paddy Pimblett.
I didn't understand his game plan even. He wanted to box with Gaethje, but he couldn't wrestle him, he couldn't box him. He just a little bit young and he has a better chin, but he's a trash can.
I was enjoying every moment when the Gaethje clipped him.
You hate him that much?
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be there, That's why I was happy because now UFC can see why they put the trash can there, and he never deserved to be there.
But did the result of the fight truly change Arman's future in the lightweight division? The answer is not as much as Arman thinks. The next fight on the schedule is a title unification bout, and who's to say that whether the outcome of the BMF title fight will have any impact on determining the next #1 contender. In the absolute best case scenario, even after apologizing to Dana and Hunter.
The light is good.
So, Dana and Hunter.
Yes, go ahead.
Forgive me. Give me the title fight. I'll be good boy. I'm a good boy. And I'm not gonna hit anybody anymore.
Arman is at minimum looking at a title fight by the end of the year against the winner of Ilya vs Gaethje. And poor Justin, his first title unification bout was against Khabib, who was still grieving his death of his father. Then he fought for the title against Charles Oliveira, who was fueled by one of the most iconic lines in lightweight history. The champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira. And that was after Charles had lost the belt on the scale. And now Justin finds himself facing Ilya Topuria, who has recently gone through a divorce and is drawing massive motivation from a legal battle in which his ex-wife is attempting to take custody of his children and his assets. I don't know whether Georgina intentionally included Ilya in the photo she posted yesterday, and we hope Arman goes ahead and buys that house in Madrid. Ironically, Gaethje robbed us of a Khabib vs Tony, and now of a Ilya vs Paddy. That said, the outcome of Sunday morning could have a positive effect on Arman, just not in the way he expected. The reason he has been sitting out for such a long time is that there simply aren't any opponents opponents ranked below him who are truly deserving of a fight. After the top 5, the lightweight division's resources become limited, and it's better to sit out for a year than to fight someone like Benoit Saint Denis. However, if Paddy manages to recover in the coming months, and I hope he doesn't follow Tony's path, what do you think about a grudge match between him and Arman in the middle of this year? And with this, everything could fall perfectly into place at 70 kilograms. Within a few months, we could have results for Holloway versus Oliveira, Ilya versus Gaethje, and Arman versus Paddy. Arman could then take control of his own destiny and deliver a performance that convinces Dana he's next, regardless of how the BMF title fight plays out. But this scenario isn't without flaws. Starting tomorrow, a new event will take place that will impact the lightweight rankings. PZF versus Ruffy, along with a co-main event Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. And despite these fighters being far from the title picture, Dan Hooker's result, in particular win or lose, could retail a potential Paddy versus Arman matchup. Because outside of Ilya versus Arman, there is no fight in this division that fans want more than Paddy versus Dan, especially after the heated exchange between them a few weeks ago, when Paddy mocked Dan's grappling with an unspeakable metaphor.
Dan Hooker couldn't grapple the fuck off his mark.
Before Dan fired back by referencing Paddy's friend who died by suicide in a retaliatory context. And to this day, things are still heated between them.
Dog. He talks an awful lot of shit for someone that fights like that. Is that common knowledge that Conor, he talked about Conor McGregor, and then Conor McGregor drove around to his house? He drove around to his house and he sat outside in his car calling the bloke, and Paddy refused to come outside. That tells you all you need to know about a guy.
By the way, Dan revealed a few hours ago that Arman's headbutt broke his nose.
And when this fucking headbutt me at the weigh-in and broke my fucking nose, it pissed me right off.
And I hope Dana hears this. Credit to Dan for keeping it quiet until now. In a humorous exchange, where Arman was highlighting the difference in Dan's face before and after their fight, Dan responded with a sarcastic one-liner. Over the past week, Arman has also expressed interest in the idea of dropping down to featherweight if he doesn't get the winner of Ilya versus Gaethje.
I'm not getting Gaethje, I'm not getting anybody. I'm gonna try to get the title 145.
Really?
Yeah, what I can do.
Can you make 145?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Carl, so we did the math, everything. So my body can go to 145.
And I hope he doesn't listen to Volkanovski's response, because he'd need to amputate a limb to make 66 kilograms. For now though, after Chandler avoided fighting Arman will turn to a grappling match against Giorgio at Real American Freestyle 6. And trust me, this will be far more difficult than Lance. This man is no easy opponent whatsoever. Still, Arman sitting out for an extended period, or missing out on a title opportunity, or even losing a potential fight with Paddy, none of these are the real concern. The real problem is that this man, despite his ongoing media antics and insane social media clips, completely crossed the red line on Fight Night. Not because of him hate watching Paddy, but frankly, this is not a scene of a man with a wife and children should be seen in. And I genuinely feel sorry for his wife, who must be watching all this unfold through social media. After what we witnessed last week, a 37-year-old man whom fans believed didn't deserve a title shot and couldn't keep up with the new generation at lightweight. We may now start hearing calls from Kamaru Usman to be made the #1 contender in the next weight class, 77 kilograms, especially since he's Justin's close friend and they share the same manager. And during his meeting with Islam and Khabib, I had the feeling that something was being arranged behind the scenes. But Justin is a completely different case from Kamaru. Even though they both refused to accept any fight that wasn't for a belt, Justin, unlike Kamaru, was willing to fight for an interim title, something Kamaru flat out refused. After Bilal's injury, Kamaru refused to fight Shafkat, despite the bout being offered to him on October 21, 2024.
But December 7th might be a little too early for that time.
With 7 full weeks to prepare, roughly double the time Gaethje had to prepare for Paddy. And that's without mentioning that Gaethje wasn't coming off 3 consecutive losses after the brutal knockout against Max. And his most recent win was against an elite level opponent like Fiziev, not Joaquin Buckley. But none of that really matters. With Shafkat sidelined since the night at T-Mobile Arena, and with Morales still not officially recognized as the #1 contender, Ali Abdelaziz's maneuvering behind the scenes will continue, pushing Hunter Campbell to believe that Kamaru Usman is the right man.
Listen, if you compare Kamaru Usman in Gary or to any of these other guys, Kamaru Usman is the toughest matchup for Kamaru. I'm telling you, I train with both guys. Kamaru Usman is the toughest matchup because I don't think Islam is going to be able to take him down and do what he does to the other guys. He's going to have to strike with him and it's going to be a war.